Few figures in modern Nigeria represent the moral bankruptcy of political commentary more thoroughly than Reno Omokri, a man who embodies what happens when intellect is squandered on deceit and influence is prostituted to the highest bidder. Once seen as a voice of conscience from the Goodluck Jonathan era, Reno has devolved into something far more sinister, a serial propagandist whose public persona is a collapsing edifice of contradictions, fabrications, and shameless opportunism. Let's call it what it is. Reno Omokri is not a commentator. He is a chaotic agent of misinformation, a digital charlatan in preacher's clothing. His name has become synonymous with gaslighting, historical revisionism, and selective outrage tailored to the whims of his political benefactors. A record written in fraudulent ink. Take his oft-repeated lie that Jonathan built all Nigeria's railways. This statement is not just false. It's propaganda in its most insidious form. Rail projects Reno attributes to Jonathan were initiated under Olusegun Obasanjo and continued, or even completed, under the Buhari administration. Yet Omokri, with the conviction of a televangelist peddling fake miracles, repeats this myth to whitewash his political patron's lackluster legacy. His audacity doesn't stop at infrastructure. Remember his slanderous transformation on Tinubu? Once, Tinubu was a decrepit, corrupt, dying man unfit to lead. Now Omokri urges Nigerians to give Tinubu a chance, as if he wasn't the very prophet of doom forecasting the president's moral and physical decay just months earlier. Such a pivot isn't evolution. It's pure intellectual prostitution. Peter Obi and the Vatican visit, Reno's latest calumny. The most recent and deeply disgraceful episode of Reno's misinformation campaign was his coordinated attack, alongside fellow propagandist Femi Fani-Kayode, on Peter Obi's trip to Rome. The lie? That Obi was bounced at the Vatican and shamed until Tinubu's intervention. This narrative was quickly dismantled by Dr. M.O. Paul, who not only clarified the nature of Obi's visit, a personal, self-funded pilgrimage in line with his long history of Vatican engagements, but also exposed the media manipulation being spearheaded by characters like Reno. Peter Obi, known for his humility, flew economy class and used the travel savings for classroom donations. Yet while Obi builds schools, Omokri builds castles of lies, often from hotel rooms in Paris, London, or California, where he moralizes from the comfort of privilege. It's not commentary. It's cowardice wrapped in sanctimony. The anatomy of a hypocrite. Reno Omokri's contradictions aren't subtle. They're a grotesque parade of duplicity. He claims to be a man of God, yet spreads tribalist dog whistles, conspiracies about Jubril of Sudan, and attacks the sick and elderly with digital pitchforks. He proclaims himself a minimalist, while gallivanting in designer suits and globetrotting on speaking tours funded by the same political structures he pretends to oppose. Worst of all, he styles himself as a debater of ideas, but blocks thousands of Nigerians who dare to challenge his twisted narrative. Being blocked by Reno has become a cultural badge of honor, proof that you've resisted digital tyranny. The real danger, institutionalized disinformation. Reno is not just a clown shouting into the void. He is part of a dangerous trend, where public discourse is hijacked by mercenary influencers who use social media as a weapon, not a platform for enlightenment. They don't argue in good faith. They don't seek truth. They seek relevance, clicks, and proximity to power. And this is what makes Reno Omokri a tragic figure. He could have been a real leader. He could have stood as a voice of reason, as someone who witnessed power up close and used that knowledge to build a better future. Instead, he chose to weaponize the pulpit, twist scripture for political slander, and dance on the graves of civility, ethics, and fact. The verdict, a hollow preacher in designer clothes. Reno Omokri is not just a failed activist. He is a walking indictment of Nigeria's broken information ecosystem. He manipulates the truth not out of ignorance, but as a strategy. His entire career is built on the art of strategic gaslighting, distorting reality just enough to deceive the uninformed while escaping accountability. The tragedy is not that Reno exists. Every society has its charlatans. The tragedy is that in a country crying out for truth, he still has a platform. History will not remember him as a reformer or a pastor. It will remember him as a cautionary tale, a man who chose propaganda over principle, fame over integrity, and falsehood over fact. Let the record show, Reno Omokri is not a voice of conscience. He is a megaphone for deceit.